Hey everyone, this is Jason from EskimoTV.net, and today I'm going to be reviewing Dexter New Blood, Episode 6, Too Many Tuna Sandwiches. Before I dive into the details of this episode, I did want to clear something up about the video I posted for last week's episode. I had mentioned in that video that I haven't seen the episode referring to the future episodes of Dexter. I was saying I can't say with certainty because I hadn't seen the future episode. Well, this comment got mistaken by a few people to mean that I hadn't seen the episode I was reviewing, and I got a couple of angry comments saying, why are you reviewing an episode that you haven't seen? And I can see why it was misinterpreted, but I wanted to clarify that I meant I can't say with certainty about what's going to happen because I haven't seen the future episode. And so I apologize about that. I also misspoke. I did say that Harrison killed a guy. Obviously, he didn't kill him. He severely injured him, though, so much so that he was in the hospital, and it caused Dexter to have some suspicion about his desire to kill potentially in the same way that he has that desire. And so I think it would be odd if I hadn't seen the episode, but I was able to get all of these other details that were in the episode randomly correct. That would just be bizarre. And so apologize. And if you've been keeping up with these recaps and weekly reviews, I like to talk about what happens in the episode, little thoughts I had about what they did right, and to ask you guys what you think is going to happen in future episodes. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. This episode is crazy. In the last episode, Angela is printing Dexter Morgan's obituary, and she confronts Dexter. She stops him. I liked how it played homage to the first episode where they were role-playing, where she pulls him off to the side of the road. He thinks this is going to be just another pullover with his girlfriend, but she says, I don't want to see that ID. I want to see this one. And says that she wants to know who the heck Dexter Morgan is. Dexter did not die as a criminal. She isn't as alarmed as she would be if he had been known to be the serial killer, but she is now wondering, why did you leave the life behind? Why did you lie? That's probably the biggest concern for Angela. And this scene is one of the best scenes in the episode because you're wondering, how is Dexter going to get out of this? He says that he's happy with where he's at now, and he apologizes. Angela feels betrayed and almost feels as if they're going to break up. He asks if they can get dinner later. She says no, that she doesn't want any more time right now with Jim or Dexter or whoever the heck you are. And so it leads you to wonder, what is she going to do? And Dexter asks her a question that I think everyone's wondering, which is, are you going to keep my secret? That's what he asks her, and she's just annoyed. She, I think at this point, hasn't made a decision if she's going to. She doesn't really, I think, understand the gravity of why he did what he did, changing his identity. And so she just kind of smirks and says, just go. Just go. That's a ridiculous question. So that was a nice way to start the episode off. We also see that Harrison is going to work for Kurt. Dexter doesn't like this. He also signs up to be in the wrestling team. I wanted to say that I like the way that this episode decided to cut between two events that were happening at the same time. You have a scene where Officer Logan and Angela are discussing why Kurt decided to say Matt was alive, even though it seems that he isn't. Angela comes to the conclusion that there was something potentially being hidden in an area that they were about to begin searching right before Kurt unveiled that, oh, Matt's alive, he's doing great, we don't need to search anymore. She thinks maybe there's something crazy that's hidden out there in this area. I like the way that that was cut in between Dexter and Harrison's really bad therapy session. It does not go, I think, the way Dexter wants it to go. Harrison says that he feels alone in the room, even though Dexter's right there next to him. He feels abandoned where he's at. This editing technique of cutting back and forth between two events going on happens once more at Harrison's wrestling match, and Angela and the rookie cop exploring these caves and discovering big landmark event for Angela, her missing best friend Iris's body. And so she breaks down, but I liked that instead of it being such a conventional whole scene, that they cut back and forth between these two really big events that are happening. Harrison hurts a guy really bad at the end of a wrestling match. He surrenders and he decides to inflict more pain than necessary, which causes a huge uproar between all of these wrestling athletes, and Dexter is chasing after him, and it's a big mess. Angela, at the end of this cutting between back and forth, discovers that it's her best friend that is passed away. She's devastated. And the episode ends with Angela calling Dexter to say, I don't need Jim Lindsay. I need Dexter Morgan. And I thought that was crazy, because now I'm wondering if Angela is definitely going to keep Dexter's secret in hopes that Dexter will help her basically pin Kurt down for all of this craziness that he's doing. And we know that Dexter knows Kurt is behind all of this, so he definitely could be of help to his girlfriend. One other big monumental scene that happened is Molly Park and Kurt are having a conversation. Dexter decides to record this conversation. I thought it was odd that no one noticed his phone and that he felt confident enough to leave it behind to record a conversation. I did like the way that as Dexter gets his phone and is listening to the conversation, it cuts to him being in the car and then cuts to the actual conversation happening. I thought that was very well done and was more of a pleasant viewing experience for us to watch. We learned that Kurt is going to try to lure Molly Park to the kill cabin. It seems like that's what that is at this point. Luckily, because Dexter recorded this conversation, luckily for Molly that is, he decides to step in, save her. And it was really wild. I thought that this scene could have gone way more south, especially if Kurt had gone a lot further and maybe pinned Molly down or trapped her inside this room. But Dexter gets there just a little bit before things go really off the wire, and there's no Matt, and he plays it off saying, oh, he must have taken off. But Molly definitely felt unsafe on the ride home. She thanks Dexter, saying that she definitely felt like she was going to be a story in one of her own podcasts. So she seems to have thought that something about that whole setup was a bit fishy as well. And so with Dexter knowing that Kurt is a killer and Angela needing him at this time, I want to bet that Kurt probably won't be around for too much longer. We do only have 4 more episodes after this, and so I'm curious how this is going to end, and if this is going to end in Dexter's demise with people finding out about Dexter's past, Harrison, Angela, or if this is going to end on a cliffhanger, and if we'll have a Dexter New Blood Season 2. This is Showtime's popular show at the moment, and so I don't know how the story is going to end and if it will lend itself to a second season, but if it does, I'm on the ride for it. I just hope that it does it well and that they don't make it overstay its welcome just to have more episodes, because if they can end it in a satisfying way this season, I think that will be satisfying for all of us. It'll be sad to see our characters go, but I know a lot of people were not happy with the finale of the original Dexter series, and so maybe this can redeem what happened in that season. Those are my thoughts on this episode. If you enjoyed this recap/review, smash that like button. You can also consider subscribing to the channel, where you'll find reviews weekly of Dexter New Blood, as well as home entertainment, movie reviews, and more. You can also check out my website, EskimoTV.net, for reviews from myself as well as other authors. Once again, my name is Jason Escamilla from EskimoTV.net.